Hello, I am Kodili-nye. Very soon, the city of Onitsha will be an export hub. It will be an export hub. You need to listen to this idea that was discussed and how this thing can come about within the next 2 years or 3 years. And you can understand that things are going to happen very soon, especially on the area of turning, instead of being an import area, but turn into economy of basically exportation. Basically, sorry about the sun. I think the sun is affecting my the video, but I do believe I think let me see how we can do it so that you can understand. But before we continue on our discussion, this is street vlogging. I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. Welcome back again, and we are here to discuss because this is what we are known for. We are innovative, we are entertaining, we are educative, and we are the wonderful family. Remember to like and comment and share and subscribe, because by so doing you help us, and you are with us in everything we do, and we cannot do without you. So what are we talking about? Onitsha, Anambra State, and Igbo can turn into a mega export hub, considering that now what we are doing is virtually importing everything into the homeland with little or no production involved. So, and there was a discussion that gone on that this can change very, very soon if the government, change their priority. The governor of Anambra State, that target of 2 years will do the magic. And I'm going to explain to you how this thing can come about and what will trigger it. You will see that it's not that na agụba hadronko, no ndị na-akpụ ya ọmakwa ihe a na-eme. So that's what we are here to discuss. What we are, I'm just translating this. It's a local slang that says the clipper. Is that the clipper, shaving stick or whatever? Is it that it's not working, or that the people that handles it, they don't know how to handle it? That's what we are. That's what I vernacular. So, and I do believe that you will agree with me. There are so much potentials. I reckon the other time that Onitsha or Anambra State as a whole, basically every month import hundreds of containers into the come to Anambra State, and Onitsha to take bulk of it. Others go to Oka and the Newe. So, and if you look at the importation, you can see it's very, very heavy, and that's why the Onitsha and the Anambra State is a major logistic hub in Nigeria. And what are we talking about? This has actually shown by the number of bonded terminals, import terminals, and container terminals that are being established in the state. And that shows you that there is something happening. That's why a lot of these businessmen are actually investing money in setting up bonded warehouse and facilities. And this shows that they are preparing for what is about to happen. And the trade volume in the Anambra State or Onitsha is running in billions of dollars, and this has attracted a lot of people to be talking about it and saying that this imbalance in trade can be reversed by turning most of it into importation of raw material and export. Basically, they started talking about that's how the Chinese started their operation, and they talk about Taiwan, and they talked about Indonesia, they talked about Pakistan and others, that they quickly turned the imports into exports, and majorly exports. They only import majorly raw material. They also talked about India, that India is also doing the same thing. And this is what we are going to be discussing, and I do believe that you will go to the comment section and also contribute to your quota. And the question is, how can this be possible? How can it happen in Onitsha? Yes, definitely it can come because the resources is there already. The importation, you can import anything with water. You import with money, showing that there's money is already there. But the main thing that is missing is the drive and the policy, both on the government and the business community, to fashion out ways to change this scenario into something that is going to change the homeland. And what were we talking about? Talking about the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. As an economist, we know that importation does a lot of damage to the economy, and the quicker you reverse that, the better for you. And the trade imbalance will suddenly change in the favor of Onitsha and Anambra State and Nigeria. And how can he do that? What can he do immediately to affect this? He need to, not waiting for years, not waiting for months or weeks. He need to immediately get the business community on the idea of this, and he need to help them to get their acts together. And how can this thing do? The government need to make a policy that now that we have an airport, and we are going to get the cargo section of that airport ready, get it ready as soon as possible, and also get the river port also ready for what is going to happen, and get the major roads expanded, which he started to do, but he has not actually moved in a much bigger way. And also looking at also getting the railway up and running, and also getting the other things, like making sure that he put in place different power companies to provide electricity. And this will basically help to change a lot of things. And basically, once this thing is done, that's the beginning. Another thing is to get all those importers in Onitsha and industrialists on the change their mindset of about that this is our new drive, that what is now the fashion is to export a lot of goods. And what they need to do is together they can gather together and said, what are we been importing mostly? And if you look at what they've been importing, a lot of them are on Tesla materials, household goods, and a lot of things like shoes, clothing, lots of things. So those things, they will now say, okay, how can we source the raw material? So that's when the government come in, because the government must lead in everything. Some people will normally say, oh, like what the politicians do, oh, let the people come and build roads and blah, blah, blah. The government need to lead on the policy formulation, so that the people will now have confidence and said, okay, this is what the government is leading. Let us now follow the government. The government must be leading. As a song that sang, so basically, the government is the big elephant in the house. He must be in front, and other people will now follow. So if you leave it for the business community to do everything, you are not encouraging them, and you are not making things easy for them, because they need a lot of encouragement even the ability also to raise the capital they need for importation, and all the policies on free trade zones and all those things. So they need to also to be able to overcome the challenges of importation of raw material in Nigeria. And this only the government can as well help in this regard. And that's what the Soludo government should be talking about. Because if we are going to think about that, if we change, like we are importing around, let's say 200 billion worth of goods, or half a trillion worth of goods, basically suddenly all those things become half a trillion export goods. So, and the government is also making money from it, because at the end of the day, government invested something in it and they are receiving income from it, foreign exchange from it. Think about Anambra State government getting like something like $1 or $2 or $3 from all those goods that they are going to be exported, and they export like 1 million goods. And suddenly the Anambra State government is having $2 million as their own distance from this. So what about that? You know, if they export 1 million shoes, and the Anambra State government is getting $1, $2 from each of these things, and basically this is added into the economy. That's why sometimes nyaka iji wee kwụsị ọ bụ na agụba adịrọ nkọ ka ọ nọ ndị na-akpụ ya amarọ ihe a na-eme. So that's what happened. So basically to build the economy is not a rocket science, it's not difficult. So that's why we are saying that this is what that need to be done. So another thing is basically, so when the government help through central bank and the Bank of Industry, they also need to now give out a place that this thing must start immediately, this production. Let's give an example. We talked about in the other video about how the Onitsha should start producing a cloth, and that's triggered that. That's why some people started talking to, look, we have great potential that we have not utilized. Why not turn this into export, getting the raw material instead? And that's exactly, because once we have that great fashion line or manufacturing line of textiles, what happened, or clothing line, what happened is that immediately the 20,000 deployed in production of that clothes or textiles will suddenly increase to 50,000 people, 100,000 people, and this will basically eliminate the unemployment in Anambra State and in Nigeria. Basically, you have a surplus employment for people, and there will be so much change in the homeland. So now, those production cannot be used in Nigeria alone, but a lot of them will be targeted for export through the Chidwa Achebe International Airport and cargo airport. Basically, that's why the government must quicken up to make sure that the cargo station is built immediately. Cargo shed, even if it's a temporary one, to be used. And this will create a lot of jobs, because now you have exporters. You have a lot of people, thousands of people deployed. As you see in Lagos, a lot of people doing export business. Some of them are exporting just crayfish. Some of them are exporting a lot of things. But Onitsha will start, or Anambra State will start with textile, and now expanding it to shoe and other things. There are a lot of things they can import. They import the raw material and produce in the state. So what are we talking about? A timeline of 2 years can start to achieve this. Even if it's not in a mega form, it will start little by little. So exporting to African countries, from there, basically producing quantum. That's what changed the China. The Chinese we are talking about, that's how this thing started. We must have a targeted policy on export. So it's not a rocket science. You can hear Onitsha on top as a great city for export, where production is coming up from here and there. So that's why we need to deploy all energy sources. That's why there are delay in Anambra State House of Assembly that are being hijacked by political interests that has stopped the signing off of the energy bill. Should immediately be dealt with. It should be people has to start talking about it so that the government will free itself from political interest, you know, and basically do the right thing so that a lot of companies that have been looking to invest in the state will now have will now be able to provide energy, diverse energy sources like the solar, like gas turbines, fired, power line, energy source, and others. There are many of them, and generating energy from the west, and also distribution, not just generation but distribution. So independent power plants coming up here and there, and this will also help to stimulate the production process, and this will actually encourage more production. But there must be a targeted effort in doing this. So the effort should be geared with the Onitsha based businessmen, that there shall be exportation drive. So the production should be done in the homeland. The importation of those machineries and a lot of expertise should be gotten into the system. And the government on itself should now be focusing on establishment of vocational colleges who will gear towards those things that we are looking to export. Like clothing, they will now have a vocational this thing that will train thousands of people in readiness for this. It's like one person was asking me some time ago, the government, building Nigeria, in Nigeria, they're building hospital, but they are not thinking about who will be the doctors and nurses. Where are they being trained ready for this? So that's exactly in this case. So if we are targeting to start with clothing and shoe, we must establish a vocational this thing and give scholarship that many thousands that will start up these things will be trained immediately within 6 months, and they are ready. So that immediately you start these things, you have quantums of manpower that you will now deploy. If it's 20,000 you are looking at, you start to train a lot of people, 20,000 youths on that. And suddenly they are independent of government, and they can actually stand by their own, and they can actually power the economic revival of our homeland. We talked about a long time ago of Eastern Economic Tiger that is coming. This is what will trigger that. So people will not be talking about China anymore or Taiwan. They start talking about Anambra State, Onitsha. That's exactly what will come. So that's what we are talking about. There are lots of things that need to be done. But the major drive should come from the government. People thinking that most of the time the government or the politicians are looking at the people. No, really. Because there must be a leader that is leading the people. A sheep without a shepherd is completely going to fail. They will scatter everywhere. So there must be a policy formulation. You see the security issue we are talking about since. The government keep on saying the people, you should, you see something, you say something, and blah, blah, blah. It was saying all those things for how many years? The insecurity keep on growing until they have to make a policy and drive it from the front. So immediately you start to drive it in the front, you can see that the security issue has actually dropped from almost 70% to now 25%, 30%. So the insecurity has actually dropped in the state. So showing it should be an eye-opener to the governor that you must be on top of the game. You must drive any change. Any positive change must be driven by the government. The people might say it, but the people might not have the factors of productions or the finance needed to drive these things. So that's why the government come in. That's why in China and many of these countries, I heard in the Philippines there is a buyback, and Thailand, where most of the time they produce a lot of rice. So what they do there is that government encourage you, give you the finance to produce, and the government buy back all those things, and now source to export them, help to export, and the government get their money, the revenue, foreign exchange from that. So, but in the terms of Nigeria, in terms of Anambra State, everybody is on their own. That's why people were saying, we are criticizing the government and said, oh, for the security situation, the insecurity, people were on their own, calling on government since, and the government was basically reading our figures, what they have achieved, but in the street, it wasn't actually showing until recently, and that's what we are looking at. So, is it possible that within 2 years that we should start to see the emergence of export business from Onitsha, from Anambra State? I mean, major export business. Yes, it's coming, but the government of Anambra State must take a lead. It must drive this policy, and that's what we are talking about. So, to change the narrative in our homeland, to make it a livable and prosperous homeland, it's not a rocket science. It can only need a determined governor or government to do that. And I believe Soludo, being an economist, can do these things if you can share this video to him, if you can send this video to him, not to his aides, but send it directly to him if you watch these things, and begin to follow us, join us in this effort to change the narrative, to bring the wealth home, to be creators of wealth, not just merchandising, keep on distributing people's goods. This is the time we need to do that, and also to save a lot of our youth from unemployment. I don't know what you thought about that. Do you think this is a good idea? If you think so, go to the comment section, and don't fail to drop a sweet comment, and remember to share. And I am still Kodili-nye, the son of wonderful. Thank you for joining us once again, and we are moving, and we will continue to bring more and more. And with your encouragement, we are on a path of a major expansion and growth. Thank you. Have a wonderful time wherever you are, and have a beautiful week, because the week has just begun, and I know that everything will work out for you. See you in the next one, and God bless you. Bye.